Office of Cultural Affairs. And Robin, if she sells you that book, she's going to put that money right back into the program for the book. So please, it's a great read. It's a wonderful touchstone. It's a fantastic gift. Christmas isn't that far away. So just, do what you think is right. As Director of Cultural Affairs, I get to work for the best mayor in the world, Mayor Sylvester Turner. It is rare for a mayor to so personally and deeply understand the impact of arts and culture on people. And Mayor Turner absolutely understands that. He is a guide. He's a guiding force for our city. He has to deal with so many important and weighty issues, and understanding and appreciating and lifting up the artists of our city over and over and over again is actually a tremendous honor and very humbling work. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the support of this program. It's a great partnership with the Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs and the Houston Public Library, led by Dr. Lawson. And my sole purpose here today is to make sure we thank our committee who helps us select the Poet Laureate. And these individuals serve to guide the criteria, they do the interviews, they participate in a number of meetings to deliberate. Occasionally they do a lot of technical support services and really help us get to a fantastic list of candidates for the mayor to choose. So the participating this year were Deborah D. Bouton, John Plucker, Edward Nowatka, Grace Rodriguez, Daniel Pena, Dr. Jose Aranda, Rachel Hempel-Dixon, and Radu and Carmen also support the program as non-voting members on that committee. So let's please give our committee a big round of applause. So next up to the podium is Dr. Lawson, and just one more time, thank you all for being here. We're so excited about Leslie and having our next Poet Laureate.
Thank you, Debbie, and thank all of you for being here today. This is truly an exciting time for Houston as we continue the Poet Laureate program here in Houston. I'm happy to welcome and congratulate Leslie tonight as she steps into the Poet Laureate role representing our city of Houston. The Poet Laureate program, now in its 6th year, is a shining example of how the arts and literacy can build community and foster resilience. We saw this through the publication of Houston's favorite poems, the project and book that Dr. Robin Davidson just mentioned. And we hope you will support that effort because, as Debbie said, it goes back into making programs like this possible. And we witnessed how Deborah D. Morton recited a poem that was broadcast on the BBC after Hurricane Harvey. Talent is here in Houston, and this is just one way of bringing it forth to the world. Poetry is very much alive in our city. The Houston Public Library, through generous support, through the Houston Public Library Foundation, hosts workshops, events, and countless programs year-round to highlight the work of the poets and writers. We invite you to visit us in person and online to learn more. On behalf of the library staff, and would you mind just giving my staff a round of applause for me? We are very excited as we look forward to working with city departments and local organizations on Poet Laureate sponsored activities and initiatives. With that said, it's my pleasure, as Debbie said, to bring America's best mayor, a man who has and the Houston Public Library since he's taken office. Won't you help me welcome our Mayor, Sylvester Contreras?
Thank you. Let me thank Dr. Lawson for the work that she's doing here at the Houston Public Library and her entire team. And they do an incredible job, and I'm very appreciative. And the city is very appreciative of all that she does. And then, Robin, it's good to be with you again. And you have been awesome before, during, and even after. And the work continues. So thank you so very much. This is the 4th Poet Laureate. This is the 6th year. And I've had the privilege of being the mayor for 4 of those 6 years. And this is, again, another special evening. We have some incredible, remarkable talent in our city. And tonight, selection is another example of some incredible talent. I had the privilege of, Leslie, meeting your parents over the weekend. It was just an act of faith on a Saturday morning. And so I ran into them, and let me tell you, I should have known they were, your parents related to you because they were already beaming. And I could look in their eyes, and they were saying, we are the parents of the next Poet Laureate mayor. And let me tell you, I only needed to talk with them for 10 seconds before they told me who they were. So a great deal of pride, and rightfully so. I want to thank all of you for being here tonight to celebrate the new Poet Laureate, Leslie Contreras Schwartz. I think Brahman said it best, and just in short order, it is a big deal because it is a big deal. We have some incredible talent. Let me commend the selection team because it is never easy to make a selection or to narrow things down. And when they presented to me choices, incredible talent. But I will say I will tell you that you just stood out. Your work speaks for itself. And I also want to thank everyone for their collective efforts through the years to see the Poet Laureate program elevated and appreciated by Houstonians and visitors to our city. Let me personally express my gratitude to the committee again for accepting the call to serve and work through the selection process. But I also want to take this opportunity to speak a little bit about Leslie. Leslie Contreras Schwartz is a multi-genre writer and a 4th-generation Houstonian. She grew up in Aldine. I'm a little bit familiar with Aldine. Since I lived in Aldine, grew up in Aldine, still live in Aldine. And then she's a graduate of Eisenhower High School. And I'm quite familiar with Eisenhower High School, especially since I live right down the street from Eisenhower. And she graduated from Eisenhower High School, and then she went on and attended Rice, having transferred from the University of St. Thomas. So she's very much accomplished. Her work examines the narratives of those usually silenced, such as people with mental illness, sex workers, women who are trafficked, or children in custody. So as you can see, her work is very impactful. These subjects and more fill the pages of her forthcoming collection of poetry, Who Speaks for Us Here, which will be her 3rd published book. Leslie will use her time as Poet Laureate to focus on tackling mental health through the lens of poetry. And she hopes to cultivate and create new partnerships between the Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs, the Houston Public Library, and the Houston Health Department. And let me just say, in our city, we need added voices. Sometimes people will hear from their mayor, sometimes they'll hear from city council members, sometimes they'll hear from businessmen and women, and then sometimes the voices will be heard by those who speak through poetry. And it's a unique gift. And I believe it is a God-given gift. And it has to be a part of your DNA in order for people to feel what you are saying and writing. And I believe it is a part of Leslie's DNA. And finally, I had the chance to, again, meet her parents. And I know the background from which she is now presenting herself. And I know they're extremely proud of her and have prepared her for this very, very moment. So please help me welcome and congratulate Leslie, our city poet laureate, the fourth, and someone who I believe has prepared herself for such a time as this. Leslie Contreras.
Before I make remarks, I want to start with a poem. And I wrote this poem for my city. From the mouth of a slow-moving body of water called the bayou, marshy outlet, or swamp stream, I am here without oak shade, but a heat that carries more heat inside it. Bare head, barefoot, a child inside the drunk days of this city. Heart swelter, heart dream within its stupor. We cleave to tree crown, to branch, to bayou, mud sludge, night-eye possum, coyote scratch in back alleys. We reach toward what homes us. Also, we bow, bend, waist high, the long grass, southern sway. This place, mother, this place, father to me, where I still learn to bow low to flood, wet heavy with years of leaves, of twig pile, of clothes still wet, from our grandparents, our great-grandparents' storms, set in sun to dry. Trunk stop, full root break, cracking through street sidewalk into hole. This city cracks my heart with that hole, like my own mother, wanting me, but not the way I am. But also it can woo me, back like my own father, all skunk lullaby, blue bruise, raccoon, bouquet blues. Their music bends me at the knees, turns me wild cornflower and goldstrum, baby wax myrtle. Oh, gator mouth of this city, you brown hawk, toad brigade, snake mouth sister, model, Gulf Coast grass skirt. I'll wear it like a birthright because I choose to stay. Oh yes, on Gulf breeze grass and shifting in this place's skirt, should we choose to stay, call ourselves brother to those born in swamp and scurry, where one person's garden is another person's ditch. My city of heartwood, sapwood, bark and needles, lob lolly paths veining inside me, a bayou mat pulse that marks neighbor and family in bayous called Cedar, Carpenters, Greens, Jackson, Hunting, Little Cypress and Sims, Spring Creek, White Oak, Willow Creek, Brays and Buffalo. The greenways along them where we breathe in sluggish water or watch them rise, our generators pumping when lights are out. We generate each other somehow, We generate generations on wit and yawls, fingernails and draw, on plenty and without. Brown skin made browner, black made more black beauty, with oil-rich blood or oil-slicked fingers and lungs, blood half soiled with work, on horses, on trucks, on four-wheelers or sedans and vans. We remember the sound of a click of a little league home run, a glory homespun. Look how far we'll drive in magma-level, fire rocket, godforsaken heat, pouring onto our faces. Call us ugly. Go ahead. In response, we weep, wax myrtle tears, shed spider webs, grasshopper evening elegies to the blackening sky. This is a very long sonnet poem, so I'm going to skip and get to the end. I say that loosely, I am a pentameter. This place floods us repeatedly, making of us everyday fishermen, astronauts, scientists, creators, hosts. Houston, we have a problem. We stumble upon flight suits, stumble upon what to do with that flight suit. The city bearing a hole in my heart for me, the way it leads me down, back up, and back through that hole. Something about places being torn, something about the ghosts that made us and keep us company, no matter how much we level, something about the grit that remains in the teeth after you've swum in floodwater. The muggy underwater plunge when the whole neighborhood becomes your summer pool. Bobbing with children, bobbing with rubbish, brave pets, crocodiles, snakes. How it keeps bobbing in us, 3 to 5 feet up the walls bobbing in us. The choir and the crickets, now drowning into eerie aftersong, like a late night on Montrose. Drunk punch on people, queer love and youth, all the cities inside the city, our private ones, our familiar ones, our own community ones. This knowledge makes us kin. Across freeway, crosshatch, across strip malls, billboards, mom and pop shops, panderias, lavanderias, food trucks, restaurants with every cuisine from every country and grandma's remembered recipe. A place made for living, not for the world's gaze, though our faces in this light is exquisite. Fine, even downright beautiful in the strobe light and buzz. If you look, that is, and I'm asking you, please look. So thank you to Mayor Sylvester Turner. Thank you so much for that warm welcome. To the Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs and all the selection committee, to the Houston Public Library Director, Dr. Rhea Brown, again to the Poet Laureate Selection Committee, they volunteered and did a lot of work to help select, and to the Houston Arts Alliance. I'm very grateful for being given this opportunity and privilege to serve as Houston's fourth Poet Laureate. Like was mentioned before, I'm a Houston native, and generations of my family were born and raised in Houston since the early 1900s. My great-grandfather, Florencio Martinez Contreras, owned a blacksmith shop where the current downtown aquarium now stands. My great-aunts, Della and Dionys, were artists. One, a pianist, the other a painter who actually painted the flowers on these panels. Her name is not on the plaque, but she was a pupil of Emma Richardson Cherry. And their brothers, including Carlos Contreras, my grandfather, were some of the first Mexican Americans to attend the University of Houston and receive degrees. I'm saying all this because I associate this city with the idea of family and community, and the belief that opportunity through education, study, and hard work can be obtained in the city of my birth. I grew up in Aldine, like Mayor Turner said, attended Aldine schools, graduated from Eisenhower High School, and later attended Rice University. But always, I found support in seeing myself as a poet, from the teachers and administrators who supported me when I presented my very first poem as a 9-year-old at the Acres Homes Library, to the encouragement of my older brother, who gave me his college literature when I was a young teen. My childhood was also filled with the sounds of my dad playing oldies and the blues on guitar, and my mother, a naturally creative person, as a master seamstress, able to make a wedding dress or a costume with ease. Both of them emphasize the importance of education and the beauty and importance of the arts. Our personal connection to poetry and literature keep us coming back to it. From the time I was a child, when my father read the same dog-eared books to me each night, I understood that the power of words existed not in a vacuum, ink on a page, but in the context in which we experience them. And to me, the reading, writing, and appreciation of poetry will always be experienced in joy, in understanding and connecting with other people in ways that are often difficult in conversation and day-to-day interaction. In a way, you can say I've studied and written poetry to retain the feeling of being a child next to my father, reading to me the same nursery rhymes full of humor and life, reminding me each night that there can be beauty, that one can find beauty between the pages of a book and in the careful voice of someone you love dearly, who wants new ways to say that they love you. Like the stitches in the handmade clothes my mother sewed for us, art and creativity holds a language of life, an expression of emotions that make us human and more humane. Let me clothe you, our creations say, or let me soothe you. Let me tell you what it felt like. Who can argue against the need for more beauty, more creativity in this world, in this city? Perhaps more importantly, poetry through its beauty and power also has the potential to create change by empowering people, providing opportunities to create and to express deeply held ideas, beliefs, and to share their experiences across all walks of life, across economic, ethnic, racial, and religious backgrounds, across educational and language proficiencies, across any circumstance a person is born into. I believe art, including poetry, belongs to and is available to everyone. And it certainly belongs to Houston. My goal over the next 2 years is to bring workshops and readings into communities and groups with vulnerable populations, such as at-risk youth in detention or rehab, and people living with mental illness, and provide them with the resources to create their own poetry, to see themselves as poets. The pieces produced from this outreach project, as well as writing workshop instructions and exercises that people can do independently, will be housed on a website through the Houston Public Library and available on social media, allowing more Houstonians to have a public voice that is recognized and honored, with the potential to create a fuller, more complex picture of the human experiences within our city. Follow Houston Voices hashtag, or follow the Houston Poet Laureate Facebook page if you're interested in seeing what happens. Okay, I talked a lot. comes and then you're free. Floodgate. Today I wore the freshwater pearl necklace that he got me 20 years ago. And my body opens into a field of gratitude and clean sky. How today it is unafraid to lay across this planet, a body that has borne 3 children, and yet for years hid inside itself under layers of whatever felt safe. Silence, escape route, all night and all one thing. Anything but in the 5 foot 2 inches of shut all the way down. No one woke me, loosened my grip, though God knows how hard he tried. I am going in both directions now, horizon to horizon. Neither bridegroom nor bride to myself. Healing has nothing to do with arrival at a gate, the answer in the shape of a key or a genie in a bottle. It is a reshaping, shifting into a body that opens instead of closes. When the world floods and headlongs, lamp me, set me to glow. I'm ready for floodlight, that cut, lathered in honey and cinnamon, where I see the milky eyes of my son on my breast, and know this tide is equal to a nanosecond of the great flood's blink of an eye, her flash of us that imagines ending any time now, her sacred breast that she wished, her sacred beast that she wished from her own private dream. Think of us some more, dear one. Think us with one long multitude and breakneck deluge. And I want to end on a happy poem. Hummingbird. Wait, I don't want to read. Incantation. Conjure all night self. Conjure, having closed my eyes, having rested limbs, no torso self. Conjure delirious. Conjure sunset. Conjure thawing into indigo and black grave self. Conjure raw, unfiltered maple glow, never touched. Conjure self. Conjured honey self, sticky lipped, newborn pink that feeds on the starved self, the fattened over full, sick of thought self, eats her one gulp and eating with hands self. A self never satisfied, conjure afterglow, self that eats all other selves, splitting, and washes them down. 3 boxes of chocolate, covering the dried, aging, cruel, reddened mouth self, selfish and stingy-lipped, sugar self, sticky, too sweet self, conjure this night beast, stalk of my deep forest, unafraid animal, unafraid self, unnecessary self, made from pure and still holding onto umbilical cord self, worthy of blood of mother and clean, free of thought or judgment, just body, just full fruit self, hanging from vine self, never altered, whole soul self. Thank you.
Thank you again, everyone. That concludes the program. Please feel free to stay and mingle and meet Leslie